Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how you can change the background of basically any photo in Photoshop, but today we're going to be working with this one because she has kinky hair and it's kind of tricky to get into that. Okay, so I've loaded the image that I'm going to be using for this and also the background that I'm going to be using. So the first thing I'm going to do is drag the background into my foreground, and it's smaller, so I'm just going to go Command T and make it big enough to cover the whole canvas. So that looks good. I'm just going to hide that for now. So basically what we want is all these white areas to be filled in, because otherwise it doesn't look realistic. So what I'm going to do is make this layer visible and make this multiply, the layer type. So now it looks pretty good on the outside, but then of course on top I'm seeing like if she had gills. So we're going to add a mask down here, and then we're going to go to the paintbrush tool, and if you know how layer masks work, then you're going to paint black and white. I'm going to paint black because my layer mask is white, and I'm going to make the brush big enough to cover a big chunk of her face, and I'm going to paint black on top of her and a little bit like on the edges, like where I can grab her hair, like enough for that, and her body. So this is just going to be a rough painting around. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so it looks good as long as you get everything. And now we're going to take the other color, we're going to take white, and we're going to paint the other way around. I'm going to paint on the edges back where I want this to come back, the background to show up again. And you can see I'm going to even bring this lower and the opacity a bit lower too, as well as the flow. So it kind of goes behind the hair, and then just make it small so that you can get onto all the tricky areas. You could zoom in and everything to see better, but I'm just doing like a rough draft of this so you can see like the top of the house in the background there. It came back here in the edges of the hair again. That looks pretty good. And so if you see before and after, it's a pretty good image right there. We're just going to do a little bit of extra editing. So I'm going to go and make a curves layer and bring it up, because when we use multiply it did get darker. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to hit Option on a Mac and click between the two layers, the mask layer and that one, so it only affects the background. So I'm making it brighter again. If we go to the original picture, you can actually see it was brighter too, maybe even a little blue. So I just want to bring that back into it in this picture. So I'm going to click curves again, the properties, and then I'm just going to fix that up to how I think the other one was. That looks pretty accurate. And then I'm just going to make another layer for hue and saturation, and I'm just going to bump up the saturation and the lightness a little bit, and I'm only going to have that affect the bottom layer. And so I'm just going to take my brush again, paint black, make it a little bigger, and I'm going to paint on her because I don't want all the saturation on her skin. So then you could see it's only affecting the background. And I could bring it all the way up. I'm not going to bring it all the way up, obviously. But that did an okay job. And then you could go back to the paintbrush and paint black on all these curls over here that are kind of just on the outside. So we don't want any color differences between the hair. So that looks pretty good, yeah. And so I'm just going to show you what it looks like now versus before. That's before and that's after. And so we still see all the hair here, and we didn't really have to do much. It was really simple and just one layer really that you had to do, and then this is just to take care of color editing, and then you can do whatever you want on top of that. Alright guys, so that's all I have for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.